here's the thing. This is Paul's old engine. Paul's new engine in the bus. There are a couple of funny things about the new engine, the replacement engine. One is that the exhaust is in really close to the oil feed tube. Here's the oil feed tube. And somebody bent it. See that nice, it's a real tight bend. It should be more shallow, kind of out like this and sort of over like that, out and over. Okay, so here's the thing. I'm taking the tube off of his original engine. I'm putting it on the replacement engine. Also, the oil drain plug was stripped out. Shucks. Well, it wasn't stripped out. It was actually, the threads were good. But it wasn't coming off of there. So after some gouging and forcing, we got it loose, popped it out of there. So, here's the deal. I got the AC going in the shop. It's improvised. Don't judge me. It's all I got. It's okay. Keeps it cool. Makes it so I can wear this. I don't die. I don't want to die. Oh yeah, I got a haircut and I shaved. And I'm engaged. I did go on vacation for a week. Haven't touched any of this. But now I'm back. Anyway, I just thought maybe you guys would want to see what's going on here. Because I wanted Paul to have a really nice running bus. He's my good buddy. And we're going through all this trouble. I want it to be nice. I don't want it to be leaking oil. I don't want it to be, you know, a mess for the guy. He's too nice a guy. He deserves a nice bus. So I'm going to space the exhaust out, the new muffler, which is on the floor over there, which is why I'm pointing that way. I'm going to take this oil feed tube off of this engine, put it on this engine with the exhaust spaced out a little bit, make some little spacers to go in there. It should clear the tube without needing to be bent like this. It's just a matter of different eras of heater boxes and exhaust units being used on engines, and it's not all like fitting up quite how it should be, but we can make it work. We can get it there. I'll show you what I'm talking about as we go. So some of the fun of this is that this old exhaust is done. It's done. I get to keep this old engine in exchange for whatever the heck I'm doing here. And so I have made the executive decision to not really save any of it in order to get at this oil tube as easily as possible and some other things. I'm just going to cut this sucker off here. You can see his old motor mount rear mustache bar had zero connectivity to the engine. So the engine was just kind of sitting on it at best. And we've got to replace pushrod tube seals and some stuff because those are done. And then it should be good to go. So we'll do a little tuning on it. We'll blast it down the road. We'll have fun, and Paul will be smiling and having a good day. So yeah, oh yeah, the other thing that happened. Right. So we put this thing in. We ran it. You saw all that. Well, you didn't see us putting it in because I forgot to hit record, but whatever. Sue me. Please don't. I'm not insured for that. Bye. And what would happen, but wouldn't you know it, kaplooey on the alternator, like instantly. I think it had a dead short to the plate. Replacement engine, alternator, kaplooey, original engine, yoink alternator, install it on replacement engine. Hopefully we run with no kaplooey. Capiche? Okay, here's the deal. Now that we got that done, I can take this oil tube off. Bada bang, bada boom. Grab the drain plug, slap this engine back down on a stand. Although I do kind of like how it's all up right now. It's kind of fun and fancy. And then we can get to doing stuff on this side of things. Pushrod tube seals and the whatnots and the what have yous. Throwing the alternator back in. It's coming along. It's decent. It's exciting. I'll tell you what. The way this is orchestrated, there's a shallow nut on this side and a shallow nut on this side. They're both 13 millimeters. And then that pipe comes off of there. So it's not that big a deal to do this. The shallow nuts, very important, because if you don't have a half height nut on this with the mustache bar in place, it's obviously not installed right now. With it in place, the nut will not be able to be removed or threaded up on there. And in back, it's damn near impossible when everything's all up in position. But this is maintenanceable in car. You have to remove your exhaust and a couple other things, but you don't actually have to remove the mustache bar. You can just through the little crevasse here, you can get everything that you want out of life. Take it off the engine. This is the shallow-sided one. It doesn't think that people are beautiful unless they're a model. Now there's a little rubber tube up under here that is the dipstick condom, if you will. There's other names for it. That's not even an official name. It's just something that I call it sometimes to mock it. And what that does is it bridges the gap between this tube and the dipstick tube, which is sticking out up here. And believe it or not, VW doesn't put any clamps on that because the oil level actually doesn't ride up into it. The oil level rides up just below it. And when the engine's running and everything, there's not that much oil in the bottom of the crankcase anyway. So it doesn't matter much. This nut is really sticky coming off of here. It's fighting me a little bit. So yeah, it doesn't matter that much, and so people are always confused about that. I've seen them with zip ties on them and stuff, and sometimes people put zip ties on them just to hold them in place. Because what happens is you'll get a real nasty oil leak from there when it tears, which, like I said, it's a little rubber accordion boot. It will tear eventually. They get old, and then they start leaving a lot of this sludgy oil down here. Sometimes they'll eat your rubber mounts. Oh, well, that's why that was so hard to get off of there. This is a stud, mind you. It's supposed to be threaded into this tube. This nut said, no way, not coming off of here today. And that's not a shallow nut. So, I don't know. I don't know, man. I don't know. But I mean, I'll tell you what. We'll get there. Now I'm probably fighting that accordion a little bit. I don't mind that. It should still, the rubber should still move up. It's just kind of old. I guess I'll push it out of the way with a screwdriver. Well, heck. It's the only screwdriver I've got in reasonable reach and distance, so. Ouch. Okay. This rubber bit is significantly old, almost no longer rubber anymore. Probably in need of a better screwdriver. Something that's nastier and has more pry. Alright, here we go. Nastier screwdriver, pair of pliers in case I need them. They'll just be fun to look at otherwise. And get up in here and push this rubber piece off of here. Maybe. My goodness, it's hardened. It's hardened beyond by life. These are normally pretty supple, actually. They usually are already torn and crapped out. There you go. Now it's torn and crapped out. I'll show you what I mean. That's what I mean. So, it's got this flare to it, which is fun. And this is a little rubber boot, right? That pops over there. And then the top bit, I can't even get it off of here. Okay, there we go. Is small, goes over the dipstick. So all together then, it looks like this. I'll show you the new one when I put it on, but it looks like that. Goes over here, segues up to the dipstick, and your dipstick comes down and through and actually exits this little hole into the base of everything, and actually comes out in this lower dimple on the bottom plate here is actually where the tip of the dipstick rests. It sits 1.5 millimeters off of that. Anyway, this is what I needed. Let me show you the difference in bend between this and the other one, and you'll start to realize why I'm having to do all this. Now look here, my good friends. I would be lying to you if I said that it was at all comfortable in here right now. It is not. It is hot. I feel like we're pretty far descended towards hell, and that's okay. We'll manage. But I did just have some of my devices, this little thing and that little thing that you're looking through, overheat a moment ago. So that gives you the idea of what we're working with. Now then, factory proper bend, right? Sorry, I thought someone came in. Nobody comes in here anymore. People don't want to see me. Nobody loves me. I'm all out of love. I'm so lost without you. Factory bend, and this is the customized, somebody done diddly did it bend. I'm just going to hold these two up. You can get an idea of what's going on there. So you can see they didn't do it by much, but they did by just a little. You know, it should be a little bit more out. Something like that. See how it's in more? This way? Too far that way? Yeah. So they just bent it. There's a view to the other side there. You can see the alignment of things. I don't know. I don't know if it's possible to see it, but they bent it up. They bent it and up, and it flattened the pipe a little along there, which is annoying. So I'm gonna put a stud in this one. I cleaned it of all its grime, and now I just need to wipe it down. I'm going to put a stud into it, and it'll be ready to bolt up, and that moves us right along. I'm going to steal the drain plug out of this next, and I think that's it. I don't think I need to steal this plate. We've got one. It's got a temperature sensor installed in it. Not that he has a hookup for that, but we've got it in case we want it. So I'm going to roll with that. I'm going to bend this little tab back, so it got a little flattened out over the years of somebody banging on these things. So, all right, here we go. Good enough. Now then, I think we're pretty well done up here. Just a matter of tipping it back down. Before I had the exhaust to balance it all and make it all work for me. Now, I'm just thinking it's going to attack the hell out of me. Probably crush my hand or something, but we're going to find out. Grab there and there. Hopefully my back doesn't give out. Something like that. Hello. Guess there was still some oil in there. Give this stuff a second to soak up. Put down some new floor cardboard and push this out of the way, and we'll get back into bolting stuff up to this. Beauty. Boink, boink. Boink, boink, boink. There we go. Boink, boink. That's the dipstick tubifier. So, what have we got? We've got an oil fill tube. We've got an oil fill tube gasket. Notice that the gasket is asymmetrical. We got a skinny side, we got a fat side. Skinny side, fat side. Skinny side, fat side. Skinny side, fat side. And on here, you can see the old remnant, position there. Yeah. Skinny side, fat side, right? So, boop, fits right like that. Boop, boop. Hey, Look at that. Doesn't get better than that. This dealio walks itself over this, right? And just hunkers down on there. Okay, how about them apples? I don't know. It's not exactly apple season right now. It's swelteringly hot outside. Boink, 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 boink. Okay. So the next part of the puzzle is to, we're going to put a little sealant around here and on this guy. I use the same stuff I use on my engine cases, unless they're the really high-end Porsche 911 stuff, which is Loctite 574. Get it. I actually do use that on really high-end Porsche 911 stuff too. But here's the thing. There's an even nicer aircraft grade case sealant if you want to like down the center seam of a 911 case. The 574 is good for the cam towers and the cylinder head bolt up. So anyway, my point is we're going to dress a little bit of that on here, plop it up into place. There, you can also use Krill K2, which is a good gasket sealant as well. Doesn't matter. Either of those will work just fine. I happen to have this. It's already raring to go. It's excited. It's happy. It's in my hands. Let's see. I got something else to do. I got to clean the surface. Surface cleaning commencing. Just gonna clean this up. I installed a stud in this. You can see it's installed. Good times here. Should work out well. Okay, then the dipstick tube part. That's going to be one of the more frustrating parts. You got to fit this little dealio up over the dipstick tube, right? So that's a thing that we got to do. And yeah, anyway, make sure that if you're replacing this stud, it's the exact same length as the other one, because you got enough fishing to do that it's going to have to be fished. So you got it. You get it? You got it. Good. Squeeze a little bit out of this. A little bit goes a long way. A lot of bit goes a little way. The gasket is actually good enough to not leak, but it's in a spot that's really hard to clean right now. So I didn't want to mess around with imperfections, and I figured a little sealant just going to help it. It's not going to hurt it. And it might fill a little imperfection or a scratch or something that I can't see right now because it's kind of blocked by the mustache bar. And these being kind of slender nuts, like I said before, they're skinny. Essentially, I don't want to go crazy trying to slam that gasket down. Slam that gasket down. All right. So now you're going to see me put a little super lube up in here, up in here. I'm putting it on the dipstick tube base. Just a mite wee bit. Just a wee, brother. Just a mite wee. And that will help slide this little booty. It's got a little booty over it. No zip ties necessary, okay? If you're not used to me by now, then, you know, you get it. I just say what I want. Say what I want to say. There we go. That's a fun one. We're just gonna keep working it. Diggity. It gets past there, it does. Almost. A little more jiggly stuff. Okay. The tube. Gotta push the tube past. Okay, now here's the fun part, right? Because the tube needs to, hey, it needs to go tubing. Everything's kind of connected up. All right, I should probably grab the glasses so I can show you what's going on here, because it's actually quite fascinating, and I want you all to know. So, be right back. Hey, yo. Listen what I say, yo. All right, boot tube, right? There you go. There's tube with super lube on it. There's the boot, right? And there's a little entryway mouth of the boot. Bottom part's already over. and we're kind of lined up on our studs here, right? You getting the idea, right? So we got to bend this around, and we got to put the mouth of that over that. I don't think I can position this light. It would be nice. I don't think I can position that light for you. So let me grab a different light. See if we can get a better lit. All right, I don't know if the framing's good on this or not, but we're just gonna roll with it. So boot tube, you can see my fingers pushing the boot tube down and around. So you got the mouth of it there, a little bit scooted up. Oh yeah, did you see it? I don't know if you saw that, but if you did, that's how it's done. Now, push up on it a little bit, work it into position. I can get a little thick deal and push it all the way up, but that's basically it. And then I'll push it all the way up so it's seated against the fan shroud deal and it's not so compressed. And there you go. There's the boot installed in there, right? So now, tighten this, tighten that. It's got wave washers. It's got skinny nuts, all right? See the thinness of the nut? Thy nut is thin. That's a real skinny nut. We got one from the front. A little bit harder to install this washer. I'm gonna put it up over my pinky. Kinda kabang. I missed. Did I miss? I missed. Did it fall? Nope, I got it. And then skinny nuts. Which side has wear on it? That side has a little wear. Oh, that's the side. I always like to face them the way they were facing. It's not a must, but it makes me feel better. And I like to feel better. Yeah, yeah. All right, we're almost there. That one's pretty tightened. This one, need to tighten up with a wrench a little bit because the threads are a little bit meh. So, all right, there you go. There's the boot. Gently snug this a little bit from the front there. Come back to the back here and you'll see why it's a skinny nut, right? It's thin and you can't get any leverage on it like that. So you just gotta, oh, there we go. Just gotta turn it as best you can with what you got. And I may have to go and grab a shorter wrench so that I can swing it. Sometimes I go up through here like this. Let's see if I can swing it with that light in position from up here. Flip it. Kinda. You can see the wave washer is still not compressed yet. Got to keep going. This is where it becomes an issue. I've got to get my light out of here. Because it was where my wrench needed to be. And if you lose the skinny nut, you can use a step-down nut. It will work. It's not maybe the most elegant of solutions, but you can use like a M8 1.25 with M10 flats. Or 10 millimeter flats, better, or better put that way. All right, you can see it start to squeeze now. Get a little squeeze out going. I always tighten this top one up first all the way after snugging the bottom one. And the reason why is because you can draw against this top one, but it's really hard to tighten it to draw against the bottom one. So now I'm drawing against the top one, and these are not torqued all that much. These would be maybe 15 foot-pounds, but you're obviously not going to get a torque wrench on this. You could get one on this. Just nice and snug. They got wave washers under them. When they're flat, they're flat. There you go. Right? Now this little boot like I said, I like to push it all the way up so it's touching the fan shroud there. We're not quite there yet. Getting closer. Just picking the top with my finger to try and help it on its way. That's pretty much it. And now you can see that top flange isn't compressed. Oh, I guess it can pull up or compress down either way. All right, well, I'm gonna leave it pulled up. So there you go. I'm leaving the top flange pulled up. I guess you can put it down, but we're gonna leave it up for volume's sake. And that boot's on there. And we're back in place with our oil fill neck. Everything looks good. We're all nice and torqued down, gasket, sealant. We're not gonna fill with oil for a minute. We'll let that sealant cure. I've got to put the alternator back in this. That's not necessary to do this. You can actually do this with the alternator in, but it's really hard to get to that boot with the alternator in place up here. But it's doable. But it's really hard. But it's doable. We got our oil tube in place. We got our drain plug installed, the crush washer. I did that while you guys weren't looking. And I got to do new pushrod tubes and seals. I technically don't have to do the tubes, but we have new pushrod tubes, so I'm going to do the whole shebang, tubes and seals. And I got to mark bottom dead center in order to do that, because only top dead center is marked on these lovely Type 4 bus engines. I got to seal up this plate. I heliocoiled it already because it had a stripped thread on one of them, so I'm going to clean it all up and install the gasket for that. So that's probably what I'll do next year. That's just a rubber O-ring, and you don't really sauce it. Although I see people sauce it, you're not really supposed to. Now, I've sauced it with K2 before, Krill K2, which is a decent sauce for an O-ring, but you can also just install it with a little STP like you would pushrod tube seals, which I'll show you in a bit. So what I'm going to do here is get new crush washers for the bolts that go on this, and set this little oil plate up on here and pop it into place. I'll clean up my hands, put a little STP on it, we'll be good. I was going to STP this, but you know, actually I might K2 it. I might put some Krill K2 sealant on this actually, because I'm looking at this edge and it's a little bit rough around here. It's rough around the edges, and a little sealant might help it because it is just an O-ring. So I'm going to go sealant instead of STP. But ordinarily I would put a little STP on this seal just to help it yoink up into place nice and smoothly, and you know, stay where it's supposed to stay. It goes up in here like this, like that, and you don't want it to get pinched. So the reason for the STP is to like lubricate it, like lubricate it, bruh. There you go. It sits up in there like that. You don't want it to get pinched when it goes in, so you lubricate it instead of lubricating it with STP, which is a form of oil and other products that helps to stop leaks and burning of oil and that kind of thing. It's got detergents and cleaners and cleansers and fancy stuff. Instead of using that, I'm going to use Krill K2 on this. I think I have some. I'm going to go and get that. And that's a sticky gasket treatment thing, and I can prep the O-ring with that. Should help it stay sealed a little better. I'm getting low on it. Down on my last little itty bit. But hey, I got some. So here we go. Gonna treat this edge, edgeification. I'll treat that around a little bit. All right. Hold my beer. Take and run this seal in this some and run it all the way around, just to spread it. Get it on the seal somewhat as well. The O-ring. O-ring. I don't know if my camera is angled. I'll do this up here so it's visible, right? So once we get it on the orangutan, all right, we're nice and good all the way around, right? Just gonna get it on there, squeeze a little more on the seal itself, on the O-ring, do. Man, I'm low on this stuff. Gotta really thumb it out of there. Thumb it out of there. Okay, Can't really have too much of this or too little. It's going to be fine. It's had a temp sensor in it, which is that weird thing, in case you're wondering, in case you're like, what the? I'm wondering about that. Well, that's what that is. And we're just going to scoot it on up in there and got to make sure that she doesn't get pinched. And you kind of got to turn it to center, which thankfully I was able to use a lovely little temp sensor to push it. And then I got little crush washers, sealing washers on there. And I got my little M6 by 1.0 10 mm head boltados. We're going to thread in there. If I wasn't being silly today, I'd be dead. It's such hot weather. It is such hot weather. Hot. Ridiculous. That's ridiculous, as my buddy Stanley would say. Gonna need to get more of that sauce. All right, these don't go to any particular high torque value, okay? So don't go over torquing bolts, cause you'll strip the threads and then you'll be sad. All right? That one's done. That one there is torqued. This one's helicoiled. I just want to take it until it's stoppy-stop. But it's helicoiled, so I got to be sensitive to it. I put my finger on it. I'll lean against it a little. Do some very, very weak pull-ups. And it's torqued. There's a torque spec for these, and I can grab my torque wrench and torque them to the torque spec. Fine. I'll be back. 7 foots of the pounds is what we can go to on these. It is so hot out that I actually had to take a break from my recording device and put it in the refrigerator because I got an overheating warning. Just so you know. Da, 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 da. 7 foot-pounds. There we go. Oh, look at that. 7 foot-pounds already. We're Gucci. Hashtag not a sponsor, because they would never. But for real, hit me up. Send me a handbag. Sponsor this. Come on. You know you wanna. We can run some patterns on the bottom of engines. That's torqued. Now there's a couple of things we can do next. One, we could create exhaust spacers, because this tube here, the oil fill tube, now is at the correct angle because it's not the previously modified bent model. And as such, the exhaust that's bolted up to these headers is going to sit a little too closely to it, which is why somebody bent it to begin with. They shouldn't have done that. They should have just run a different exhaust or spaced things differently, whatever. So we can space that. We can pickle that. We can fix the pickle that is. So I got to make exhaust spacers, just little deals to go in between. And then by the time there's gaskets, they're actually going to be pretty thin because there's going to be a gasket on both sides of the spacers. And by the time it's all tightened up, it's going to be quite a bit of spacing. So we can do that. We can do that later, though. We could install the alternator back up in here now, because that can happen and needs to at some point. And we could also replace the pushrod tube seals and pushrod tubes. So there's a couple of different directions that this job can go at this point. It's hot, so I'm gonna have to make those exhaust spacers at some point, but that's a lot of sparks and metal. I'm kind of not digging that right now. So I think what I'm going to do is throw the alternator up in there, tighten that up, and mark the engine for bottom dead center, which I need to do as well, so that I can do a valve adjustment, if you will. It's a hydraulic engine, hydraulic lifters in this engine, which means you don't really adjust the valves, but because I'm taking the rockers off to pull the push rods out, to pull the push rod tubes out, to replace the seals and all of that good stuff, gotta adjust the valves. So I have to know where bottom dead center is. You with me? You're with me. Let's start with the alternator, go from there. Here's how this is gonna go. Bracket, plate, alternator, little boot for the cooling shroud of the alternator. That's generally what we're doing. Bolts, 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 nuts, bolts, bolts, nuts, boots and cats and bolts and nuts and bolts and nuts and boots and cats and boots and disco time, disco time, disco. What was I doing? Alternator. Yeah, let's put that in. This alternator has a custom wiring harness on it because at some point in time, the old wiring just said no. And so it's not color coded the same way, but it's all there. That's all that matters. But what am I doing? I go in from the front. I'm acting like I have the whole exhaust off. Take your exhaust off. Keep this under, over and through. Look in the face a little bit more. Put this wiring up in a second, but right now, ain't nobody got time for that. My AC plugs in to where my lift plugs in. So I'm gonna work with it at this level using my slightly above average height. Feeling myself. To put this in. I'm just being dumb, you guys. All right, it's in, it's installed. I'm going home. Put the belt on, run it. Yeah, okay, fine. I see the back of my big old head. Actually, I have a really tiny head. There's a little under ducking and dipping and bobbing needs to happen with this boot back here. Stupid boot. Oh, we got it. We got the boot angle. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Okay, oh baby. Heh. It started in the little, there's a little boot back there in the back. Let me show you. See that little boot? That one right there, the one that my finger's pointing to, that guy. Yeah, so it's got to go up into that. The cooling, the back of the alternator gets up in there and it cools. Gets wind sucked through it. So, if you don't have that in place, you're going to have a shortened alternator life. We don't want a shortened alternator life. We want the normal life. Good, long, happy alternator life. So, now it's just about making sure the boot's all the way on there and over it and through, above and beyond everything else. Okay, we're good. Now I'll be honest with you. This next part is usually best done from the top side, but as before mentioned, I am trying to do as much as possible while running the AC, which functions off of my lift power section. So here we are. This plastic piece here, this notches against the dipstick, keeps it all in place. Slide that over. That all fitted up in place like that. This piece comes down and over. Everything fits up like that. There's a through bolt. Has a square at the bottom and a half round button head that's going to go through the bottom of the alternator tato. I got to get pushed up into place first. Wiggle the alternator some, push on it some, yell at it. Hey, go in. You're there. Don't be like this. I need you to go in, buddy. All right. Check and see where our conflict is. Oh, it's too high. Oh man, it's high. All right, we can pull it down a little. Want to be like that? You want to play that game? We can play that game. Play that game all day. Screwdrivers are not pry bars. Screwdrivers are not pry bars. You ever hear that song? One about screwdrivers not being pry bars? Oh, that's pretty dang close. Got it. Got it. Gonna have to give it a little turn. Little tap. Pliers are not hammers. Shut up. Pliers are not hammers. And why'd it work? Pliers are not hammers. It's a good song. I'm just wearing this wiring. Boom. Beautiful. Bolted up. All right, now we're not going to tighten it down fully yet, but kind of maybe a little bit, but not really, because we got to pivot it. So, but I'm going to put a thing on there. Wave washer and nut. Here we got our wave washer, spring washer, however you want to refer to it. It's not a split washer. And then a nut. And eventually that'll be nice and pretty and happy and we'll snug it all down, but that's after we adjust belt tension. And we got to put another bolt through the fan shroud. So there's that. There's the other bolt that goes through the fan shroud. That goes through this engine tin here. Tighten that bolt up. Okay. Cool beans, bro. Put this all up through here. Wiring side of things. All right. Well, we can grommet that later. Grommet that. All right. I think my work here is done on this side. I think actually now it's time to mark the main pulley wheel so that I've got timing for bottom dead and top dead center for doing the valves. I'm going to do that before I put the belt on because that makes sense. Then I'll put the belt on, tighten up the alternator, and continue on with what we're doing. Moving right along. And you can see top dead center is marked, but nothing for bottom dead center. So I'm going to line top dead center up. This is my poor man's trick, all right? You're about to learn it. It's a good trick. It's a good poor man's trick. These are right across from each other. This here and this here. And those are the mount for the little clever mesh, plastic mesh deal that goes in front of the fan and stops junk from getting sucked into the fan, junk of a certain size. So you got one up top, due north, you got one to the left and one to the right, all right? These left and right ones are directly across from each other in the casting of this. It may not look like it from your camera angle, but they're dead even all the way across. So when it comes time to put a bottom dead center marking on this pulley wheel, which does not have one, and only has a little one for the top dead center, and I've already marked it all the way around the face so that it's easier to read. You can line that top dead center one up with this, and then you can just mark right off the bottom dead center onto this side, and you got it. I usually do my TDC in yellow and my BDC in white. Don't ask me why, it makes me feel good. So I'll look to make sure that I'm lined up. With that, I might even take a little ruler, put it across there, and then I can go ahead and mark the bottom. And we will be in happy shape. Good, happy times. Now then, another part of this is I'm actually going to lower it down because I'm pretty particular about this. and I don't just want to do it from the bottom angle and maybe be off. So I'm gonna go ahead and actually unplug my AC and die. Okay, so there you go. Marked bottom dead center, aligned it off of this thread casting. Top dead center was already marked, as you saw, aligned off of that thread casting. And now I can rotate over the engine and use the timing scale that goes up in this section here. Plastic timing scale, it bolts to there and there. And you rotate over the engine off that timing scale, and that'll allow me to adjust my valves, and then I can change out the pushrod tube seals from under here after I take the rockers off. We can cure this leak and all that kind of stuff. So there you go. Well, you can clearly see why these guys were leaking. And if you can't, I'm going to point it out to you right now. It's not hard to tell that the nice round part of the O-ring that is there is no longer round or present or O-ring much in this section here. Just pretty much shredded. And that happens when someone does not install these with care and also doesn't lubricate them on install. So it catches on the head and they just hammer it on in, and it just takes and tears this material and rips it right off. And this inner side wasn't leaking as much, and you could see the O-rings intact, but you know, it leaves a lot to be desired. So this one's the same way, just torn to all bits. And I don't know why someone would even bother to do that. I don't know. It almost looks like somebody shaved it with a razor blade or something, but I know they didn't. It's just crap. So this is cylinder number 3. I've begun the process of replacing pushrod tubes and seals. So I have brand new tubes. These are a little pitted up and rusty, and clearly someone just abused this. These edges are all smashed and smacked. So we're going to go ahead and do it all up and just keep going. Well, it's about 6:30. I've turned the AC off. It's about 85 degrees in here. And that's pretty much what it's been all day. It was at 90 at points. It was a warm one. I'm gonna go home. It's supposed to be a little bit cooler tomorrow. High of 93. Today's high was 96. Felt like 100 something. Hasn't beat me. I cleaned all the pushrod tubes. And I'm excited. I'm excited to put it back together. Get it all sealed up, replace those fuel injectors, run it, tune it, and give it to Paul. Make him happy. I'm excited. That's what I'm telling myself. I'm excited. Ooh, it's hot. It's real dang hot. All right.